I have a trench gun, and in today's video, we're going to unbox it. But before we do, I have to tell you that I found something super interesting in the buttstock, and it's over 100 years old. So stick around, find out what it is. Now, this trench gun was by no means cheap. I first acquired it at a gun show and found this shotgun in a 28-inch barrel configuration. So it was a civilian model before it is what it is now. I didn't have any plans at the gun show to actually pick up any guns. I didn't even come with any cash, but found a guy at a stand that had one, had this gun actually, and picked it up, took a look at it. It was the first time I've seen a 1897 in person, so I wanted to look at it and get my hands on it, and it was in phenomenal condition. Before the receiver and the barrel looked the way it does now, it had a very nice natural patina to it. The wood stock was in great condition. There was no cracks or really any bruises or anything for that matter. The bore, everything looked great on it, so decided to pick it up. So I picked this gun up in the civilian configuration knowing that I wanted to convert it. After playing video games like Hell Let Loose, Call of Duty, and Battlefield 1, I just thought it was such a really cool firearm to add to my collection. Obviously, it could be a good home defense gun, so I decided to do some research, and after watching some videos like Garand Thumbs, found out that you can send these off to Bull Creek Arms and get them converted. So what they do is chop the barrel, add the heat shield, the bayonet lug, replace any minor parts, refinish the stock if you want it. I think it costs a little extra to do that, but make sure it's in good running condition otherwise, and then re-blue all the metal parts, the receiver, the bolt itself, the barrel, the magazine tube, and the slide rod here. So about a day or two after I had seen that Bull Creek Arms had received my shotgun, based on the tracking number, I got a phone call from them, and I talked to Norma on the phone. I don't know if Norma is a guy or a girl, but I talked to Norma, and they said that the shotgun that I had sent into them was in phenomenal condition. Like I had said before, when I picked it up at the gun show, I could tell that it was really taken care of given its age. So that made me feel really comfortable that this would be a shotgun that I can use for a long time and actually put it to work. There's a running saying about trench guns, or model 1897s for that matter, that it takes about 100 years to actually break them in. When you are on that phone call with Bull Creek Arms, after they receive your shotgun, they will give you an option, if they have it, to go ahead and let you purchase a bayonet. So the trench gun actually uses either a 1913 or a 1917 bayonet. And we'll go ahead and mount it. So adds a lot of distance onto your reach on this gun, obviously. So 5 can be held in the magazine tube plus 1 in the chamber. So if you run out of rounds, you've got this bayonet here, of course, and it just looks really freaking awesome. So I had to pick one up. If you don't know, the purpose of the heat shield here is so that after, well, in World War I and World War II, after blasting 5 rounds of buckshot in the trenches, and if you didn't have any kind of sidearm or other way to put more rounds in, you can grab onto the barrel here with the heat shield and go to town without actually burning your thumb on the barrel that would probably otherwise be really hot. So they actually do all that stuff, and it comes out to about $950, which I know is not cheap, but I really wanted to add this to my collection, so I did it, and here it is. All right, spoiler alert, I've already unboxed this thing, so we'll go ahead and take it all out and let you see what all comes in the box. So obviously the trench gun, and man, is it beautiful. Just a quick look at everything on there. Look at that shine. All right. Let's set the shotgun down. So in the box, got the shotgun. Some general operation safety tips, I guess, if you don't know how to operate it. Talks about how to slam fire. That's kind of cool. And over here, this is that special little something I was telling you about at the beginning. That's over 100 years old, and we'll get into that in a second. And then I guess just some other parts that were taken off prior to actually sending it, or well, to converting it in the process. These are some parts from the civilian model. And then lastly, we've got a little pointy, stabby here. So this actually, I don't know if you can tell, but right there says Remington, and then 19. You can see a 1, and then the fourth number is illegible. So maybe somebody in the comments can let me know if this is a 1913 or a 1917 bayonet. I'm sure by the time I posted this video that I'll have the answer after researching it myself. But the trench gun could take both the M1917 and M1913 British. So we'll set that there. The scabbard, we'll set that aside. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes here. So if you're a milsurp or a trench gun enthusiast and you're hardcore, you'll notice something about my conversion that sticks out like a sore thumb. And that is having both the takedown model and the 6-row heat shield here. So let's get into that a little bit. The heat shield here actually came in 2 different designs. The first one was what I have here, which is the 6-row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row of holes. And this is obviously a reproduction. If you can find an original one of these, I'm sure it runs close to $400 at least. So right now, at least, Bull Creek Arms is using some reproduction bayonet lug / heat shields, which overall I think this one's in pretty great shape. Looks really nice. But anyways, came in the 6-row and then also in a 4-row configuration that was a more simplified design. The 6-row was used during World War I, and then World War II they simplified it with just 4 rows. Right here, what I was talking about earlier is the this actual receiver on the World War I model wouldn't have this here. It would just be a solid receiver here. And what this is if you, well, really with the civilian model, it was much easier. I'd have to look on how to take it down now, but I'd imagine that you just get into these screws here, take those out. But there was a pin there that you just pushed, and then make sure the actual pump is all the way towards the front of the gun. And then you could rotate the receiver and the barrel and magazine opposite direction. It would rotate 90 degrees, and then you could take it down and have essentially from here back separated from here forward. That was something popular that Winchester decided to do for sportsmen like bird hunters, so that they could break down their shotguns and go bird hunting and store it in their luggage. Now, if you're really serious about wanting to get an authentic military trench gun, I'm going to point out a couple things that you can look out for so that you don't get taken for money. This is not a clone trench gun. This is a civilian model 1897 that was converted to a trench gun, so I don't feel that dirty for doing it, as opposed to if I would have bought a reproduction fake. But anyways, right here on the receiver, you can see full. This was only available on civilian models. If you're wanting a wartime military trench gun, you want it to say CYL here, and that stood for cylindrical bore. Otherwise, the full was for a full choke. If I had the full 28-inch barrel, it would have had a choke at the end. Obviously now that it's been chopped off, there's no choke. So this is not going to have a very tight group. Moving on, you can see here at the top of the receiver, you've got a W and then another W etched in right here. This was something that was on military and civilian models, and that's just a Winchester logo. Not much to see there. Now, on the other side of the gun, the military model had a US and flaming bomb etched in somewhere right here in front of the bolt, but still on the receiver. So look out for that. I have also seen on some models, I'll have to do some research on the context of it, but I've seen some that have US etched in right here on the left side of the receiver. Right here on the actual slide rod, you've got model 1897 Winchester etched in here. In 1920, they started moving that up here, so I know that this is a pre-1920 1897. You can go online and look based on the serial number of your gun to find out when it was produced. Anything that was produced during World War I and World War II had the letter E here and then the serial number following. There is a tool online that you can use to search what year your shotgun was made based on the serial number, and mine was made in 1918. So that's pretty cool just to think how old this thing is. So based on my serial number and this being made in 1918, this gun is 106 years old. So that's really, really cool to have something so old and it, you know, be refreshed and look so good. So what was in the buttstock that I had mentioned earlier? Well, let's find out. Okay, I was handling this earlier and I washed my hands and they still smell like a antique store. So that's one of the things that you can tell about these things, how old they are, is just the kind of smell that they put off. And let's see, open it up so y'all can see yourselves. Look at that. That is pretty cool. Michigan resident hunting and trapping license. Looks like it was never filled out. It was never signed to anybody's name. I wish it was, because I could see if I could actually track down the original owner of this, but if you look up here at the top, it says it expires September 1st, 1922, which means if things were the same back then and hunting license were good for about a year, this thing is from 1921. It's got some kind of number here, 70492, but that's pretty cool. This thing was rolled up inside the buttstock. If you take the butt plate off there, which I did want to kind of flex about that a little bit. I didn't mention much, but the buttstock on this one is actually an original, which is really cool. But you take both of the screws out here, slide this plastic piece off, and then there's a small hole about that big. And I guess this thing was jammed down in there, so pretty cool. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. This is the model 1897 trench gun conversion. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoy this gun. I plan to take it out to the range soon and kill some paper targets with it and hopefully stab a couple while we're at it. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I'm dropping new videos. I got a lot coming down the pipeline, and I appreciate every second that you watch, and I really enjoy talking with you guys in the comments. So if you are a connoisseur of these things and you know a lot more about them, please educate me. I'm happy to talk about them. Anyways, have a blessed day. Peace.